Over the past 3 decades, Neil Rettig has contributed to the productions of hundreds of films, including IMAX productions, National Geographic specials, and the PBS series Nature. Recognized as one of the world's premier wildlife photographers, Neil has received many awards, including 3 Emmys. And while his work takes him all over the planet, he lives right here in the Midwest. And 2 of his films, American Eagle and Raptor Force, were filmed largely in Iowa.
This project is 3 one-hour shows on the Mississippi River, starting all the way up in Lake Itasca and all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be dynamic with capturing a lot of the really interesting action that happens, both with predation and with people that are out using the river, like these commercial fishermen that are netting under the ice, which is a unique fishing method that really hasn't been documented that much.
Neil Rettig's camera work has been featured in more than 100 nature films over nearly 4 decades. His first major project was shooting harpy eagles on the Amazon River in 1974. However, his earlier work did not involve any of the world's natural wonders.
My real first project when I was 14 years old was making monster movies at home with my parents' 8mm camera.
Since then, Neil has shot from the Amazon to the Arctic, in all sorts of environments and under all kinds of conditions.
Every place we go is fascinating, and you learn something different. You meet fantastic people, you see amazing wildlife in action. It's awesome.
On this shoot, temperatures are hovering right around freezing. It's not only hard on the body, but it's also hard on the equipment. Before he's finished for the day, Neil will have spent 10 hours on this frozen stretch of Mississippi River trying to capture the fish harvest.
A lot of patience you need for this kind of work. Right now, I mean, we're dealing with just this kind of chaos of these guys with the system they have for getting the net under the water. Mostly with wildlife, I'm just sitting in a blind and waiting for, often many, many hours, the whole day, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes even months to get some particular behavior of an animal. In the end, when you do finally get something spectacular, it's worth the wait.
Rettig was co-producer and cinematographer for the documentary American Eagle, which premiered on the PBS program Nature in 2008. Often, the cinematography was breathtaking. And at times, it was heartbreaking.
It's not unusual for the older eaglet to turn on the younger and smaller.
Rettig says when filming nature, it's important to know the behavioral patterns of the animal being filmed. It's also of the utmost importance that you do not interfere.
Often there's really emotional things that happen when you're in the field. Sometimes it's predation, where you're watching a predator take down an animal. And in the case of bald eagles, we were actually witnessing what's called the Cain and Abel syndrome, where one of the older eaglets was picking on a slightly smaller and younger one. And it was just awful. I mean, I really felt like intervening, climbing up the tree and taking the young chick that was being beat up by its sibling out to save it. Of course, you can't do that, but you got to just record what you see and not let emotions take over.
The eaglet did survive the abuse it suffered from its sibling. The nest, in the documentary, was located at the fish hatchery in Decorah, Iowa. Neil estimated that around 50% of American Eagle was shot in Iowa. He says that roughly 30% of another nature program he worked on entitled Raptor Force also was shot in Iowa. In the film, Rettig actually attached a camera to the back of a bird of prey.
Today, everybody wants something different. They want different perspectives, different angles, point of view shots, and we've actually been perfecting different ways to put cameras on, for example, on the back of a peregrine falcon. They give you such a unique angle that you feel what it's like to actually be in the air or be a part of a flock.
Neil would encourage anyone who is interested in filmmaking to not let anyone else tell you it's impossible. If you can put up with sweltering heat, sub-zero temperatures, and survive the countless insects that want a piece of you, filming nature can be rewarding.
I think the most rewarding thing that I find is giving people insight into the beauty of the natural world. When I can produce something that makes people realize how wonderful an animal is, or how important it is to save an ecosystem and an environment, that's the most rewarding for sure.